What if artificial intelligence wasn't just, about boosting productivity for businesses? What if it was really about helping you achieve your deepest personal goals, your aspirations? Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take source material and really distill it down into the most potent insights. And today we're plunging into a pretty fascinating vision from Meta. It's outlined in a recent summary we looked at, all about their personal super intelligence initiative. So, our mission for this deep dive, we want to unpack Mark Zuckerberg's really ambitious vision for AI here. We'll explore the specific technologies they think will bring it to life and look at the strategic shifts Meta's making. Because let's face it, the AI landscape is incredibly competitive right now. We'll dig into what personal superintelligence actually
Yeah.
means, how it maybe differs from what others are doing, and, well, what it could mean for your future, how you interact with tech. And right from the start, you'll see Meta isn't just aiming for general AI. They're trying to create something that becomes like an ever evolving expert friend or coach that's unique just for you. So, okay, let's get into the core concept. Meta's announced this new thing, Meta Superintelligence Labs, and the stated goal is building personal superintelligence for everyone. But what's the essence of Zuckerberg's personal take on this? How is it different from, everything else we're seeing in AI?
Yeah, it's really interesting how Zuckerberg frames it. He sees AI as something deeply personal. It's moving beyond the usual stuff like, economic efficiency or scientific breakthroughs. This is meant to be an intelligence designed specifically to help each person achieve their own goals, express their creativity, build relationships, basically realize their personal aspirations. It's quite a shift, I think, from the more generalized, productivity-focused AI that you hear about so often.
Right. So instead of some impersonal tool just automating tasks for, say, a company, Meta's goal sounds like putting super intelligence power right into your hands, making it a personal asset. It almost feels like a kind of philosophical statement about what AI should even be.
It really does. And he uses this powerful historical analogy to kind of make the point. He points out, like 200 years ago, something like 90% of people were farmers. Now, it's fewer than 2%. So his argument is basically the technology freed people from just subsistence work. It paved the way for more creativity, more culture, leisure time, you know.
Okay, I see the parallel.
And Zuckerberg seems to believe superintelligence will just continue that trend. It'll allow us humanity, more time for personal fulfillment, and less time on the sort of rote productivity tasks.
Mhm. It really makes you wonder, though, are we on the edge of another massive societal shift? Maybe even bigger than, the agricultural or industrial revolutions.
That's the question it raises, absolutely.
Wow, that's quite a comparison. It suggests a future where tech isn't just a helper, it's like a genuine enabler of our potential, freeing us from the mundane. But okay, how do they actually plan to build this? Technologically speaking, it sounds incredibly ambitious. Our sources really highlight Zuckerberg predicting future personal devices will be key, especially glasses. Glasses with cameras, mics, AI becoming our main interface.
Yeah, the idea is these devices will literally see what we see, hear what we hear, and interact with us throughout the day.
That sounds intense.
Well, to put it in perspective, they think this shift could be as big, as fundamental as the jump from desktop computers to mobile phones.
Right.
Imagine an AI that's just constantly aware of your environment, your needs through these glasses.
Yeah.
It's not just an assistant you like pull out of your pocket when you need it. It's more ambient, ever-present intelligence.
But getting those glasses right must be a huge challenge.
Oh, absolutely. Making them seamless, something you wear all day, comfortable with enough battery life, real-time processing, discrete interaction. Those are significant hurdles. It's not easy.
And then there's the scale. To make this happen globally, Meta's claiming they have the resources to build the just massive infrastructure needed. That's a colossal undertaking, right? The computing
Yeah.
power, the data
That
centers.
requires immense investment and capability.
Okay, so we've talked about the personal aspect, which is fascinating. But let's shift to the super part of superintelligence. What actually makes this AI potentially transformative? The sources point to something really interesting. AI systems have apparently started improving themselves. How big a deal is this? What does it really unlock?
Yeah, this self-improvement capability.
Yeah.
It's described as a key milestone, a trend that's undeniable, even if it's, still in the early stages. What it means is AI models aren't just learning from data anymore. They're learning how to get better at learning, how to improve their own processes.
Wow, okay.
They might even contribute to their own advancement. Imagine a system that optimizes its own code or generates better training data for itself or finds more efficient ways to run. This could lead to capabilities scaling up at a rate that's, well, difficult for us humans to really predict or even fully grasp, it fundamentally changes the AI development game.
Right.
That's the real super intelligence, I think. This accelerating, almost autonomous kind of evolution.
And the thinking is, as AI takes over more routine stuff, people will naturally move away from, say, productivity software towards more creative, more connective uses of tech. So the vision is like less time wrestling with spreadsheets, maybe more time learning to paint or, I don't know, connecting better with people. It sounds wonderfully optimistic, this sort of post-productivity world. But is that realistic, or are we just changing what productive means for humans?
Potentially a bit of both. It's definitely an optimistic vision. But this ambition, it doesn't come without complexities. Risks, even. And Meta acknowledges that. They say they recognize the risks with such powerful self-improving AI. They pledge to be careful about what they open source, how they mitigate risks.
Which brings us to something interesting, this apparent step back from their previous pretty strong stance on open source AI. That seems like a big deal for Meta.
It is noteworthy, yeah.
Yeah.
They were big proponents of open source.
So why the shift? The source mentioned competitive pressures, especially these really strong open source AI models coming out of China, and also maybe safety and control concerns.
Exactly. It seems to be a combination of things. These Chinese open source models, apparently they're often competing really well in performance, they're very efficient, and they're iterating incredibly fast.
Okay.
Because they're open source, lots of people can use them and improve them, which creates this really strong competitive dynamic.
Right, the community effect.
Yeah. And you couple that with Meta's own likely internal concerns about how do you maintain control? How do you ensure safety when these systems get so powerful and start improving themselves? It seems to have pushed their strategy towards something more controlled, maybe more proprietary going forward.
And talking about shifts, the article also mentions new leadership. Meta Superintelligence Labs is now under Chief Scientist Xinjie Shao. That usually signals something, right? A change in priorities.
Oh, absolutely. Leadership changes like that often mean a significant realignment, a new focus, maybe different methods.
Jan LeCun, who was, a huge figure in their open source push, he's still there, but it sounds like maybe less central to this specific new direction.
That seems to be the implication. It suggests a move towards this more focused, perhaps, as we said, more proprietary approach for their big AI bets now.
And they're putting serious money behind it, investing billions, poaching top AI talent from places like OpenAI, Apple, other big players.
Definitely. They're clearly serious about getting the best minds. In this field, talent is absolutely critical. It's maybe the most valuable commodity.
So they're building the team, refining the strategy.
Right. And they're doing it in a really tough environment. We mentioned the Chinese open source competition. But also, they're not the only ones working on smart glasses. Google's in that race too, among others.
Sure.
So even though Meta has this distinct vision, this personal angle, they're still in a very crowded, very fast-moving race.
Okay, so let's try and bring this all back together. Meta's unique bet, their big emphasis is on personal superintelligence. AI design not just as a tool, but as this deeply personal companion, understanding your goals, your environment. It's a pretty profound promise.
It really is. And the article kind of leaves us hanging with that big question. Will this new direction work? Will focusing on personal superintelligence, pouring in all this capital and talent, will it actually succeed? Will it give Meta that competitive edge in this, emerging AI landscape?
Yeah.
It's definitely a high-stakes gamble. But the potential rewards, if they pull it off, transformative.
Absolutely. And maybe something for you, the listener, to think about. If this personal superintelligence really did become that ever-evolving expert friend or coach, truly intimate with your life, what would be the single most transformative way it could help you achieve your personal aspirations? And maybe just as importantly, what are the hidden implications? What do we need to consider when an AI becomes that personal? Something to mull over.